My dear children, come and rest with me in this quiet moment. Imagine the stillness of a chapel at dawn, the soft golden light pouring through stained glass, scattering colors across the stone floor like a painter's brush. Hear the gentle chime of a bell in the distance, echoing like my own heartbeat calling you home. Feel the flicker of candlelight, steady and unwavering, reminding you of my eternal presence that never fades. In this sacred hush, I am with you. I draw near to your heart. I see the burdens you carry, the guilt that lingers like heavy chains, the resentment that tightens around your spirit. And I say to you now, you do not have to remain bound. The chains that weigh you down are not stronger than my love. The light of my forgiveness is brighter than any shadow. Stay here with me, my dear children. Listen closely, for I long to set you free. I have always known you. I have seen every step of your journey, every stumble, every tear, every unspoken thought. My love for you has never faltered, not once. I created you with care, and I call you my own. This message I bring to you now is a gift of release, the gift of forgiveness. I know how guilt can cling to your soul, whispering lies that you are unworthy of my mercy. I know how bitterness can harden the heart, making it difficult to see others as I see them. Yet, my dear children, hear me clearly. I have freely forgiven you through the sacrifice of my Son. The price has been paid in full, and no condemnation remains for you in my presence. Just as I have forgiven you, I call you to walk in forgiveness toward others. In this holy time together, let my words wash over you like living water, bringing refreshment to your weary spirit. Forgiveness, my dear children, is not merely an idea. It is freedom itself. It is the breaking of chains that once bound your wrists and weighed down your soul. I see how tightly you have held onto your guilt, clutching it as if it were a part of who you are. But I tell you now, you are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are mine. And when I look upon you, I see not the stains of your past, but the radiance of the one I have redeemed. As my word declares in Colossians 3:13, bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as I forgave you. These words are not burdens placed upon your shoulders, but keys I hand to you. They unlock the prison door where resentment has kept you captive. I know the pain you have suffered. I know the wounds inflicted by others, the betrayals, the harsh words, the silent rejections. I have seen it all, and I was with you in every moment. I never abandoned you, even when you felt unseen. And now I speak to you. Release them into my hands. Forgive them, not because they were right, but because I am calling you into freedom. When you forgive, the chains of anger and bitterness fall from your wrists. You are no longer enslaved to what was done to you. You are free to walk in the fullness of my peace. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is not pretending the pain never happened. Forgiveness is surrender. It is choosing to place the wound into my hands, trusting that I am your healer, your defender, your judge, and your Redeemer. My dear children, when you let go, you make space for me to pour my peace into your heart. And to those who hold on to guilt, who whisper to themselves that they are too far gone, hear me now. My forgiveness is not earned by your striving. It is freely given through the blood of my Son. The cross is proof that nothing can separate you from my love. When you confess your sins, I am faithful and just to forgive you and cleanse you from all unrighteousness. The chains of shame that once bound you have already been broken. You need only to step out of the prison door and walk in the light of my grace. Picture this with me. Heavy chains around your wrists suddenly snapping, falling to the ground with a sound that echoes into eternity. That is what my forgiveness does. It breaks what you could never break. It frees you from what you could never escape on your own. And as those chains fall away, you lift your hands not in bondage but in worship, rejoicing in the freedom I have always desired for you. My dear children, let my spirit remind you of this truth. Forgiveness is the river of living water that flows endlessly from my heart. When you drink deeply from it, you will thirst no more. When you allow it to flow through you toward others, you become a vessel of my grace in a world parched with bitterness. Forgiveness does not make you weak. Forgiveness makes you strong in me. For when you forgive, you reflect my own heart. Remember my promise. As far as the east is from the west, so far have I removed your transgressions from you. I do not bring them up again. Bring them up. I do not hold them over your head. I do not define you by them. Why then, my dear children, should you hold them against yourself any longer? And why should you chain others to their failures, when I have called you to set them free? Forgive as I have forgiven you. Walk in the light as children of light. Let your hearts be softened, your hands be open, your words be gentle. Release the debts of others, and you will discover a joy that resentment can never provide. Lay down the burden of unforgiveness, and you will find rest for your soul. I am here now, pouring my peace over you like a gentle rain. I am embracing you with a father's arms that will never let go. In my presence, you are safe. In my presence, you are forgiven. In my presence, you are free. My dear children, let my words linger in your heart like the fragrance of incense rising in a holy place. Do not rush past this moment. Breathe deeply of my presence and let forgiveness settle upon you like a cloak of light. For too long you have carried burdens that were never meant to remain on your shoulders. I see how guilt has gnawed at the edges of your peace, whispering in the night that you are unworthy. I see how resentment has crept like a shadow into your relationships, stealing joy from your days. Yet I am here, the God who heals, the Father who restores, the one who whispers, "Be still and know that I am God." I speak to you now as the one who has already removed the chains. I do not ask you to strive, to fight, or to prove your worth. I simply ask you to rest in what I have already accomplished. My dear children, when I declared from the cross, "It is finished," every debt was paid, every sin was covered, every stain was washed away. The blood of my Son was not spilled in vain. It was shed for you, for your freedom, for your healing. Imagine with me the sound of chains falling onto a stone floor. At first, the noise is sharp and startling, but then it becomes the sweetest sound your ears could ever hear. That is the sound of guilt leaving you. That is the sound of resentment losing its grip. That is the sound of freedom echoing through eternity. You are no longer bound. You are mine, and nothing can snatch you from my hand. Do you see how forgiveness transforms not only your own heart, but the lives of those around you? When you forgive, you become a beacon of my light in a world clouded with anger and bitterness. Forgiveness opens doors that hatred has locked shut. Forgiveness restores bridges that resentment has burned down. Forgiveness plants seeds of peace where violence once grew. My dear children, when you forgive, you do not only free others, you free yourselves to walk in the fullness of my joy. I know some of you struggle to forgive because the wound runs deep. You wonder how it is possible to release someone who hurt you so profoundly. Listen to me. I do not minimize your pain. I do not dismiss the injustice. I carry it with you. I bore it on the cross. Forgiving does not mean forgetting, nor does it mean excusing. Forgiving means trusting me to carry the weight that was crushing you. It means believing that I am the judge, the redeemer, the one who will make all things right in the end. When you forgive, you open your clenched fist and allow me to place peace in your palm. Consider again the words I gave you in Colossians 3:13. Forgive as I forgave you. My forgiveness toward you has been complete, without condition, without limit. There is no tally in my hand of how many times I have pardoned you. There is only love, poured out without measure. And in this same way, I call you to forgive, not in your own strength, but in mine. Lean into me, and I will give you the grace you need. My dear children, resentment is like a chain that grows heavier the longer you carry it. It bends your back, weakens your spirit, and blinds your eyes to the beauty I have placed before you. But when you forgive, the chain is shattered. Your back straightens, your spirit soars, your eyes open once again to my wonders. Forgiveness is not a prison, it is a key. It unlocks joy, it unlocks peace, it unlocks the future I have prepared for you. Let me remind you of my promise. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new has come. You are not defined by your past mistakes. You are not imprisoned by what others have done to you. You are new in me. My Spirit breathes life into you. My mercy renews you every morning, like the rising sun that never fails to break the darkness of night. Look now with the eyes of your heart. See the sunrise breaking over the horizon, the golden light spilling across the earth. This is what forgiveness looks like in your soul. The long night of guilt and bitterness fades, and the dawn of my mercy shines brighter and brighter. The chains that once kept you in darkness are gone, and you are free to walk in the warmth of my light. My dear children, lift your hands to me. Do you feel the weight gone? Do you sense the peace flowing like a river, calm and steady, cleansing the soil of your heart? This is my gift to you. Freely I give it, and freely I invite you to share it. Do not hoard forgiveness like a treasure kept under lock and key. Pour it out upon others as I have poured it upon you. For when you forgive, you mirror my heart to the world. Walk in this freedom. Breathe in this peace. Let forgiveness flow through you like the song of a gentle stream. And remember always, you are mine, chosen, loved, and forgiven. Nothing, no guilt, no resentment, no chain can separate you from my love. I hold you now, and I will never let you go. My dear children, remain with me in this stillness. Do not rush away, for I am pouring my peace over you like the soft rain that waters the earth in springtime. Let your soul drink deeply of this gift, for the gift of forgiveness is not a momentary blessing, but a lifelong fountain that never runs dry. I do not simply remove your guilt and send you on your way. No, I clothe you in righteousness. I crown you with mercy. I surround you with loving kindness, and I walk beside you every step. Forgiveness is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your freedom. I want you to picture this clearly, my dear children. See yourself standing in a dim place, heavy iron chains locked around your wrists. The air is thick with shadows, and the weight of your mistakes or the bitterness you have carried presses upon you like stone. And now, hear my voice calling your name. I step into that place with a light that no darkness can overcome. I touch the chains, and they fall instantly to the ground, clattering against the stone, never to rise again. The sound echoes through eternity, the declaration of your freedom. You lift your hands, and for the first time you feel what it is to be truly unbound. That is what my forgiveness does. That is who I am, the one who breaks chains. Do not allow the enemy's whispers to convince you otherwise. He tells you that you must remain defined by your sins, that your past cannot be undone. But I tell you this: in me, your past is redeemed. In me, your mistakes are covered. In me, your future is filled with hope. My word declares, there is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Receive that truth as your own. There is no condemnation for you, my dear children. There is only my love, my mercy, and my peace. And as I have forgiven you, so I ask you to forgive others. Do you see how much freedom you have gained through my mercy? Now, extend that same freedom to those around you. Forgiveness is not something you hoard, it is something you share. Think of a spring of water flowing from the mountains. If it were to stop, it would become stagnant, but because it flows, it remains fresh and life-giving. In the same way, when you allow my forgiveness to flow through you to others, you remain vibrant and alive in me. I know, my dear children, that forgiving others feels difficult. The wounds of betrayal, the sting of harsh words, the scars of abandonment, they leave a mark that seems permanent. But hear me. I do not minimize your pain. I hold it tenderly in my hands. I wept with you when you were wounded. I stood beside you when you were rejected. And now I ask you to trust me enough to release it into my keeping. Forgiveness does not say the hurt never mattered. Forgiveness says, I choose to let God carry this weight so I can be free. Imagine the bitterness you have carried as a heavy stone pressed into your hands. The longer you hold it, the heavier it becomes, until your arms ache and your strength wanes. But when you release it to me, I take it from you and replace it with peace. Your hands are no longer weighed down. They are free to lift in praise, free to embrace others, free to work in love. This is the exchange I offer you, your burden for my rest. My dear children, forgiveness is not only about what you release to others. It is also about what you allow yourself to receive. Many of you still cling to guilt, punishing yourselves for what I have already forgiven. Let that burden go. When you confess, I am faithful and just to forgive and cleanse. I do not hold your failures over you. I do not keep a record of your wrongs. I wash you whiter than snow. Why then do you continue to carry what I have already removed? Rest in my grace, stand in my mercy. Believe that my forgiveness is enough for you. Hear me clearly. You are not beyond my reach. There is no sin so great that the cross did not cover it. There is no darkness so deep that my light cannot pierce it. I reach into the depths and pull you into my embrace. You are safe with me. You are free with me. You are whole with me. My forgiveness is not fragile. It will not break. It is everlasting, as sure as the rising sun. And this is what I desire for you, that you walk each day in the lightness of a forgiven heart, that you do not allow bitterness to root itself within you, but that you choose daily to forgive as I have forgiven you. Each act of forgiveness is like another chain breaking, another door swinging wide open, another sunrise dawning in your soul. And the more you walk in forgiveness, the more you reflect me to the world. So rise, my dear children, from the shadows. Step into the light of freedom. Let the chains fall once and for all. Forgive those who have wounded you, not because they deserve it, but because you are called to freedom. Forgive yourself not because you have earned it, but because I have given it. And walk in the truth that forgiveness is my gift to you, a gift that will never run dry. My dear children, linger in my presence a little longer, for I am not finished pouring my love into your hearts. Forgiveness is not a shallow stream that dries up when the sun grows hot. Forgiveness is a mighty river flowing from my throne, and it will never run dry. I long for you to come and drink from it again and again until your soul is refreshed, your heart renewed, and your spirit restored. You do not need to ration my mercy. You do not need to fear that it will one day run out. My forgiveness is eternal, unchanging, and boundless. Some of you are still clutching to guilt as if it were your identity. You whisper to yourselves, "I am nothing more than what I have done." But hear my voice cutting through that lie. You are mine. You are chosen. You are loved. You are redeemed. Your mistakes are not your name. Your shame is not your destiny. My dear children, I call you beloved. I call you forgiven. I call you free. Do you remember the parable my son told of the prodigal child? He wandered far. He squandered much. He came home in shame. Yet before he could even finish his confession, the father ran to him, embraced him, clothed him, and celebrated his return. That story is not distant history. It is your story. I am that Father running to you with open arms. I am the one who clothes you in righteousness and restores your place at my table. You are never too far gone to return. You are never too stained to be cleansed. You are never too broken to be made whole again. Picture it, my dear children, a banquet table set with light, the fragrance of joy filling the air, and I, your Father, welcoming you to sit and feast. No one accuses you here. No one accuses. No one condemns you here. Only grace flows here. Only mercy is poured here. Only love reigns here. That is the gift of my forgiveness. But I also call you to share this gift. Forgiveness must flow both ways, received and given. If you only receive and never release, the river within you becomes stagnant. I long for you to be like a clear stream, flowing with life, bringing refreshment wherever you go. When you forgive those who wrong you, you allow my Spirit to move freely through you. You become a living testimony of my mercy, a reflection of my Son's sacrifice. I know there are names that rise up in your mind, people who have wounded you, disappointed you, betrayed you. The thought of forgiving them may bring pain to the surface again. But remember this: forgiveness is not about denying the wound. It is about placing the wound into my hands. It is about trusting that I am the God who heals, the God who judges with righteousness, the God who restores. By forgiving, you are not saying the wrong was right. You are saying, I will no longer let this chain bind me, for my Father has set me free. Consider the cross. While my Son hung there, with nails piercing his hands, he spoke words that still echo through the ages. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Even in the depth of his suffering, forgiveness flowed. If my Son could forgive in that moment, then my Spirit within you can empower you to forgive those who have hurt you. It is not your strength that carries you, it is mine. Lean on me, and I will supply all that you need. My dear children, do not underestimate the power of forgiveness. It brings healing to broken families. It restores friendships thought forever lost. It lifts the heavy weight from your heart and allows joy to enter once more. Forgiveness changes atmospheres. It brings light where there was darkness, peace where there was strife, and hope where there was despair. When you forgive, you are planting seeds of eternity in the soil of your relationships. And in time, those seeds will grow into a harvest of peace. But forgiveness also transforms your inner life. Many of you carry anxiety, restlessness, and heaviness because of unforgiveness. Release it to me and watch as my peace settles in like the calm after a storm. The winds may have howled, the waves may have roared, but when forgiveness comes, the waters still, and your soul finds rest. That is what I desire for you, not a life bound in storms, but a life filled with calm. Look again at the image of chains breaking loose. Each act of forgiveness is like another link shattering. Each time you choose to let go of bitterness, you hear the sound of freedom ringing out, and the more you forgive, the lighter your spirit becomes. Soon you find yourself running in fields of grace, unhindered, unshackled, and overflowing with joy. My dear children, you are not alone in this. I walk with you through every step. I whisper to you when the pain resurfaces. I strengthen you when forgiveness feels impossible. I remind you of my promises when doubts creep in. You are not expected to do this in your own strength. My Spirit is within you, guiding you, empowering you, and leading you into freedom. So let go now. Release the resentment. Lay down the guilt. Lift your hands. Feel the chains fall and breathe deeply of my love. Forgiveness is my gift to you, and it is yours to give to others. Walk in it daily. Drink from it continually. Share it generously. And know this above all else. You are mine, fully, eternally, unconditionally mine. And in my arms, you are forever forgiven, forever free. My dear children, linger yet a little while in the stillness of my presence. The world outside moves quickly, but here with me there is no rush, no pressure, no demand to perform. Here you may simply be. Here you may breathe and allow my love to fill every empty place, every wound, every hidden corner of your heart. Forgiveness is not a hurried transaction. It is a deep and steady work of my Spirit, like gentle hands mending a torn garment or the slow rising of dawn dispelling the night. I am patient with you. I am kind with you. I never turn away when you bring me your pain. When you think of forgiveness, do not think only of a single act, but of a continual flow. My dear children, forgiveness is the way of life in my kingdom. Just as the air fills your lungs with every breath, so forgiveness fills your spirit with every moment you walk in my love. The breath of forgiveness is as necessary to your soul as oxygen is to your body. Without it, your heart becomes constricted, tight, and hard. With it, you live freely, openly, and lightly in my grace. Imagine, if you will, a garden at the end of winter. The soil is hard, the plants withered, and the air cold. Yet as spring comes, the sun warms the earth, the rains soften the ground, and new life begins to sprout. This is what forgiveness does within you. Where bitterness once grew like weeds, my Spirit plants new seeds of compassion and peace. Where resentment hardened the soil, my love softens it until mercy can take root and bloom. Soon your life becomes a garden of grace, fragrant with my presence and fruitful with my joy. My dear children, I do not speak these words to burden you with another command. I speak them to invite you into freedom. My call to forgive is not a demand but a doorway. It is the path that leads you out of the dark cell of anger and into the open fields of my peace. Each time you choose to forgive, you take another step into the sunlight of my kingdom, and with every step, the chains grow weaker until they shatter completely. Some of you still feel the weight of what was done to you. The memories rise up, and with them the ache of injustice. Hear me. I was with you then, and I am with you now. I saw every wrong. I know every tear. Nothing has escaped my notice. And yet I whisper to you, forgive, not because the wrong was small, but because my healing is great. Not because the wound was shallow, but because my grace is deep. By forgiving, you are not erasing the past. You are entrusting it to me. You are allowing me to be your defender, your healer, your redeemer. Consider again the chains around your wrists. They are not only the wrongs you have committed, but also the wrongs done to you, each link forged by pain, anger, guilt, and resentment. Each link a weight you have grown accustomed to carrying. But now, as you listen to my voice, you feel the locks opening. You hear the sound of iron breaking. One by one, the links fall away, clattering to the ground. You stand taller. Your hands lift higher. Your heart beats lighter. This is the freedom I give. This is the power of forgiveness. I want you to know, my dear children, that forgiving does not mean you must return to unsafe places or unhealthy relationships. Forgiveness does not erase wisdom. It does not demand that you allow continued harm. Forgiveness is about your heart before me. It is about letting go of the poison of bitterness so that you may live unbound. It is about choosing peace over vengeance, healing over hatred, and freedom over captivity. Look to my Son. He carried the cross up the hill while the world mocked him, and still he prayed for their forgiveness. He bore the weight of sin that was not his own so that you could be free. This is the heart of forgiveness, selfless, sacrificial, flowing from love. And because my Spirit lives within you, you too can forgive, not in your own strength, but in mine. I know that forgiving can feel like opening an old wound. But remember, I am the great physician. When you bring me your pain, I do not ignore it. I touch it, heal it, and transform it. What once was a scar of bitterness can become a testimony of my grace. Where there was once darkness, there can be light. Where there was once despair, there can be hope. My dear children, keep your eyes on the image of chains breaking loose from your wrists. Let that vision settle deep in your heart. This is what happens each time you forgive. This is what happens each time you receive my forgiveness. Chains that once defined you are falling. Bonds that once held you are gone. You are stepping into a new identity not as a prisoner, but as a beloved child set free. Walk in this freedom daily. When guilt whispers, remind it that you are forgiven. When resentment tempts you, choose to release it to me. When shame tries to return, lift your eyes and see my face shining upon you. My mercy is your shield. My love is your covering. My Spirit is your strength. You are not alone in this journey. I am with you in every moment, every breath, every act of letting go. I whisper my promises to you when your heart trembles. I steady your hands when they falter. I lift you when you feel weak. You will not fail as long as you rest in me, and as you forgive, you will begin to see the world differently. You will notice beauty where you once saw only pain. You will find compassion rising where once there was only anger. You will discover joy flowing where once there was only bitterness. This is the transformation of forgiveness. This is the miracle of my grace at work in you. My dear children, as this time together draws toward its close, I do not leave you empty. I do not release you without blessing. I pour upon you now the fullness of my peace, like the gentle rain that softens dry ground, like the morning light breaking through the clouds after a long night. You have heard my words of forgiveness, and you have felt the chains loosen from your soul. Now let my Spirit breathe hope into you, strength into you, joy into you. For I am your Father, and I delight in blessing my children. Rest now in my presence. Feel my hand upon your shoulder, steady and sure. Feel the warmth of my embrace, strong enough to carry your burdens, tender enough to comfort your tears. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Even in the darkest valleys, I was with you. Even when you thought you were abandoned, I was holding you close. And I will continue to walk with you step by step until you see me face to face. I want you to imagine the sky at dawn, the horizon painted with hues of gold and rose. The night has passed, and the light rises with promise. This is the picture of your soul now. The darkness of guilt has given way to the radiance of my forgiveness. The storm of resentment has quieted, and the calm of my peace spreads across the waters of your heart. As the psalmist declared, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." My dear children, I am restoring you even now. Do not be afraid of the journey ahead. You may stumble, you may falter, but I will never let you fall beyond my reach. My grace is the ground beneath your feet, and my mercy is the air that surrounds you. When you are weary, I will carry you. When you are uncertain, I will guide you. When you are afraid, I will shield you. And when you are joyful, I will rejoice with you. My love for you does not waver, does not diminish, does not fade with time. It is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Lift your eyes, my dear children, and see the river of living water that flows from my throne. It sparkles in the light, pure and unending. This is the river of my Spirit, the current of grace that washes over you without end. Drink deeply, and you will thirst no more. Step into its waters, and you will be cleansed and renewed. Let it carry you, and you will discover that you are borne along not by your own strength, but by mine. Forgiveness is not just for this moment, but for every day that unfolds before you. Each sunrise brings a fresh wave of mercy. Each evening brings the covering of my peace. When the shadows of old guilt try to return, remember this river and let them be washed away. When bitterness seeks to creep back into your heart, step into these waters again and let my Spirit keep you free. My dear children, you are not bound to the past. You are carried forward by my love, and I bless you now with courage to forgive as you have been forgiven. It will not always be easy, but it will always be possible, because my Spirit dwells in you. Remember the words from Colossians, "Forgive as I forgave you." When resentment rises, let those words be your guide. When anger tempts you, let my mercy be your strength. When memories try to chain you again, remember that the chains are already broken and you are free. I speak peace over your mind now. Let the racing thoughts quiet like waves settling after the wind has stilled. I speak rest over your body, that you may lie down and know my presence watches over you. I speak joy over your spirit, that even in trials you may sing. My dear children, you are the apple of my eye, the delight of my heart. I formed you in love, and I call you to live in the freedom of that love. Let me remind you of this promise. As far as the east is from the west, so far have I removed your transgressions from you. Do you see the horizon stretching endlessly in both directions? That is how far I have taken your sins away. They are no longer part of you. They are gone, erased, remembered no more. Walk in that freedom. Do not chain yourself to what I have already cast aside. Lift your head, for you are mine, and you are free. I bless your homes, that they may be places of peace and light. I bless your families, that forgiveness may flow like oil, healing wounds and binding hearts together. I bless your work, that it may be fruitful and filled with purpose. I bless your rest, that it may be deep and restoring. I bless your journeys, that you may walk in safety and arrive in joy. Wherever you go, my hand will be upon you. Whatever you face, my strength will be within you. And when you doubt, when you question, when you feel weak, come back to this truth. I am your Father, and I love you. I love you with a love that cannot be measured, a love that cannot be broken, a love that is forever secure. My dear children, let that love be the anchor of your soul. Let it steady you when storms rise. Let it comfort you when grief visits. Let it inspire you when hope seems dim. For I am always with you, and I will never forsake you. Now, as this time of devotion comes to its close, I ask one simple thing of you. Carry this message outward. Do not keep the light to yourself. Share it with those who are weary, with those who are searching, with those who are chained and long for freedom. Just as you have been blessed, be a blessing. Just as you have been forgiven, extend forgiveness. Just as you have received hope, speak hope. And if this message has touched your heart, if my words have met you in your need, I invite you gently, lovingly, to let others know. Like, comment, subscribe, not for the sake of numbers or attention, but so that this river of grace may flow further. My dear children, let your sharing be an act of love, a way of spreading my truth to those who have not yet heard. In doing so, you become my hands, my voice, my light in a world that longs for hope. So go now, clothed in peace, crowned with mercy, walking in freedom. Lift your eyes to the light breaking through the clouds, and know that you are never alone. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. My blessing rests upon you. My spirit goes before you, and my love surrounds you. Rest in me, rejoice in me, and remain in my forgiveness forever.